Welcome, folks. Bright, shiny day, Sydney Harbour 18 footer racing, 15 January 2023. Fourth heat New South Wales State Championship. I'm Andrew Buckland, and joining me today in commentary on the camera cat, Phil Cup Barnett. Welcome, Cup.
Bucko, and thank you for having me back, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. It's been...
Yeah, and to all of our viewers all around the world.
Yep.
And it's been a bit of a long break, and we're a bit chafing at the bit to get out there today, and we're looking forward to it. And, you know, as ever, the Australian yachting scene over Christmas pretty busy with lots of racing in various classes, and Jimmy Bury, our captain here, just with Chittenden and Co, finished the coverage of the 16-footers, Nationals, which was completed this last Saturday, and backing up endlessly for coverage also of the Sydney Hobart Start and a few other bits and pieces. Fine work, chaps, and
it was fantastic, wasn't it? We've seen some coverage of the Hobart race, and then the Sail Media expertise over the last week with the 16-foot skiff's just been amazing. Anyone watching from home would just be absolutely happy with what they saw, and it really creates a picture of the championships over Christmas.
Yeah, been terrific. So, Cubby, I'll talk about the weather a little bit, but it's pretty standard summer issue, isn't it? Big high pressure cell in the Tasman Sea, gradient nor'east with a bit of enhancement on top.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to run out tide by the time the boats get away. Just looking up to Manly now from in front of the start boat here. Not quite 15 knots. Building.
Yeah, 15 and building.
15 and building.
Effective 20 on the last beat, we would think.
We're hoping.
We're hoping.
Yeah, we're hoping.
So that's fruity enough, Jimmy, isn't it?
Very fruity, Bucko.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting, and a lot of the boats have had a lot of work done over the Christmas break. They've taken good advantage of the 4 weeks off. Bit of new decking cover on a boat with which you're associated?
A major project on the Birkenhead over Christmas. They were lacking in a few areas. They've been listening to your advice, Bucko. So we've seen the installation of adjustable levers for the rig tension. That's a tick. Yep. And the deck had gone a bit soft. So next minute the deck's come off the Birkenhead in the garage at home, and look, I've got to say, just as being the overseer to the project, not physically...
no dust on your fingers.
No.
Good work.
Once the deck came off, the boat inside was immaculate. So kudos to the builder, Brett Van Munster.
Yeah.
The boat is now, we believe, 7-8 seasons old.
Yeah.
And it's as good as brand new now. Yeah. So we're got our fingers crossed for the boys.
Days.
Yeah.
Looks a treat. We went and had a look at it in the park earlier and done a great job. The boys there, Kurt, Andrew and Daniel, worked tirelessly on it. You can see that...
Well, I'm not sure they work tirelessly on it.
Well, they tell me otherwise, Cubby, but not the supervising component.
But it's good.
So, folks, here we go. Today's race brought to you by Rag and Famish. On the screen, the shiny orange, all good. Rag and Famish, fine little establishment in Miller Street, North Sydney. Long-time sponsor in the class.
A very long-time sponsor, and a testament to Rag for being there the whole time. Pete Caligras and the crew there. Jimmy's... and a little crew change there today for the Rag and Famish. I think we've got Will Dargaville sailing today on the sheet.
Yeah. So most of the crew's at full strength. I guess we should just run through that quickly, but Ando at full strength, Balmain Slate with George Richardson on the main sheet. Your boys' normal setup.
Normal, yep.
The Burrowing Hotel with the aforesaid Brett Van Munster steering as a step-in driver with Warren Saar and Brandon Boying, so it's a bit of a lineup.
Brett was saying he hasn't sailed a skiff since pre-COVID.
That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah. He won't have forgotten how, I don't think. Nick Daly steering the Fisher and Pike Kell today.
Did we jump the fin port there?
The
Bucko?
fin
Brand
port,
new.
Brand new, has not been wet yet, so
No.
it's a big ask to stick him in and win the race, but here he goes. Do you hear anything, Jimmy, about that one?
Mate, I know that they were pushing very hard to get it on the water. That was the last I heard from Keegan. Gussie Williams I just see he's on there today.
Yep.
He finished the 16s yesterday in second overall, so...
Wow, so he's having a good day out.
Yep. And Phil, I know, was working Friday and I believe yesterday on the boat to put the last of the pieces to the puzzle together.
It's a little bit structured now. The boats go together pretty well. So I'm actually, they're my tip. I'm going to jump in early here. I'm going the fin port for the win.
Fair enough. Okay, standing mainship man on the Lazarus, Rob Bell, with Marcus Ashley-Jones and Geronimo Harrison. Will Dargaville, standing mainship man on the Dragon Famish. And the rest, pretty normal. I'm sorry, in the bow of the Smeg, Mike McKenzie. And on the 18-footer restaurant, Paddy Bannon in the bow, Cam Walker on the mainsheet, and Josh Marks on the wood. What's his origin, Jimmy? We got a draft on that?
Mate, no, I didn't get a draft on him. I had... we're a bit short-staffed here on the old camera cat this morning, just getting things organised, so we...
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll watch him go. So, folks, as we mentioned in the warm-up there, big contribution from the 18-footer alumni to the Sydney Hobart race, and of note, I think for all concerned, Andrew line honours winner with Sevi, Jarvan, Ian, Murray, Herman winning, Matty Stenner and John winning senior. A good roll-up, men.
All on the Andrew.
Yeah.
And a great line honours victory there for them.
On Celestial, the IRC overall winners and winner of the Tattersalls Cup, which is the big money prize. Jack McCartney in charge, Louis Brake, Rob Greenhow, Luke Payne, Lindsay Stead and Harry West, all alumni of the fabulous 18-footer fleet.
Yeah, and Lewis Brake just wrapped up the actual championship with John Bertram.
I saw that. Yeah, well done.
Okay. On the Hamilton Island Wild Oats, Steve Quigley was the sole representative. On Keelar 2, which is old SNS Ketch, Dave Cummings and Chris Harmson, two old stages.
Irish Dave.
Yep. Law Connect second on line honours, Dylan Clark. G'day, Dill. Chris Nicholson, Matty Pearce and Charlie Wyatt. Not a bad lineup either. Maluka, the winner of IRC 5. Pete Lang, the smallest boat in the race. Gaff rigged. Pete Langman, Andrew Woodward. On the Money Penny, first non-TP in the overall IRC. Harry Hall, Reece Mara, Josh Perebski, Brett Van Munster and Keegan York. And
there you go.
The class builder, and he's back out today for a bit of a gallop. See how we go. On No Limit, fourth in IRC 0, Charlie Gundy. Patrice, 6 overall, TP 52. Gonzo Young, Anthony Young, Stevie Thomas. And Stefan Racing, Michael Kennedy, the former bowman of the Yandu. On Sunrise, first in IRC 3, British boat, Adrian Cahalan helping them find their way to Hobart. On URM, third in IRC 0, Marcus Ashley-Jones, Bryce Edwards and Pete Harris. On Whisper, who had a couple of bits of equipment problem during the race, Davey Griffith, prominent competitor in the 80s, in 70s and 80s, with Michael Croxton and Paul Montague. And on the Willow, Josh McKnight. So 37 that we're aware of, and there's probably a couple more we've missed.
Dan Barnett. You've missed. What did he go down on, Cubby?
I went down on a boat called Quantock from Pittwater.
Oh, so, the Pittwater boat, okay.
Yeah, the Pittwater boat. So
didn't make it onto the official crew list, Cup.
No, well, he was. But look.
Well, that's published by the CYC anyway.
I blame them.
And 13 yachts, so in that list. So, and most of the silverware, it's fair to say. So
there's the Birkenhead on screen, Bucko, just in its new format with its adjustable rig tension and brand new solid deck. So wish the boys good luck.
Yeah, no. Looking forward to them in the top 10 today, Cub, aren't we?
Fingers crossed. I'm not going to put the old commentator's curse on. We've seen that during the week.
Mate, they worked a treat up at Manly for the 16s all week.
I know, I watched. So, you had the benefit of a few good commentators during the week as well, mate?
Yeah, Cubby, it was really good. Like Paulie McKenzie jumped in, helped out. He was absolutely solid all week. Missed one day just obviously due to work commitments, and then picked the brains of a few of the other people around.
And Dolly?
Yeah, we had the great Dolly on board, the Llama, and then Alana Clancy joined us for Ladies' Day. We had Pete Hubble, the head of lead, on for a day, and then finished the week off with the 2016 JJ Gilton champion, 8-time National 16 champion Lee Napton.
Well, that's a lousy rack up, isn't it?
Yeah. Leroy, that's it. I learned a few things during the week. What about the toilet roll? Oh, but that's a new one for me.
Yeah, well, you know, the white building cover, you probably go past it 30 times, 40 times a week.
Yeah.
Just there at Smedley's Point in Manly, all the young kids all grew up calling it the toilet roll because it's literally a white building shaped like toilet rolls stacked on top of each other.
I can work out how it got its name.
One of the first multi-storey developments in Manly.
Yep.
Dating from about 1960.
And then Hubble's come up with this gem about nearly running me over, coming around the top mark one day in a race. And I'm just going, whoa.
Did he have you confused with someone? That's a strong possibility, Cubby.
Well, he's forward anti. You can't trust him.
Okay, back to the 18s here, boys. So today's event is the Ron Watt Memorial Trophy. Ron was active in the class as a builder back in between the two wars, so probably best known for his work on a boat called Arawatta, which was kind of towards the end of the really wide beam era. So I think about 9-foot beam and about 12 blokes swinging it out. Ooh, good day out, Cub.
Hard work. Very hard work.
Amazing to look at, though. You know, the rig, gaff rig, 40-foot tall, big sail, you know.
The Britannia, Ian Smith's boat, still amazing.
Yeah,
like, I know they all are, and the Yendies, which you sail on, and all that, but just incredibly hard work. So no wonder they needed the whole football team to sail on.
I can't imagine, like, we're sailing the Yendies these days, so admittedly we're not young men anymore, but they had a rig one full notch bigger than what we used for the big sail.
Oh, it's just mind-boggling the amount of sail they used to get.
More blokes so too, I suppose. Yeah. We're only sailing with 7 these days, but anyway, all good.
What about our form? We're a little bit out of whack because last time we raced was pre-Christmas.
Yep.
I think our last race winner
5 minutes.
There goes the 5-minute gun. Was John Winning in the Yandu. He was the last race winner. Did he win?
So there we go, folks. The standings for the event as it is. Andu 112, Yandu 621, Shore & Partners 1533, Smeg 267, Latest Capital Partners 1745. In 6th, Fisher and Paykel, 7th, Dragon Famish, 8th, Balmain Slate, 9th, Birkenhead, and 10th, Burrowing. So you'd say that it's not likely anybody's going to be able to steal the title off the Andu, but let's see what happens today. I know that John Winning Senior has gained a degree of confidence sailing that boat with Josh Perebski and Fang, and their combination is strengthened as they've racked up.
So just for the viewers at home, our start clock is about 3 seconds out, so 3 seconds after the actual sound signal. So just when you're watching at home, don't be thinking people are over judging off our clock.
No, and don't listen to what we tell you about who's over, right? We'll try and get it right. Yeah.
Less than 4 minutes to go to the start.
So if we can just get a look at that start line, Cubby. It's a long line and plenty of room. Breeze building as we speak. Looking up the harbour now, 16 knots in clear view between here and Bradley's Head. Tide just slack water now. Where are we starting, mate?
I'm liking the pin end this time. With pin end, but you want to be advanced. You don't want to be mucking around at the pin.
No second row coming in.
No second row.
Full speed, on the money, going at it.
Yeah, no past the Jaffers, row F.
No, none of that.
No. We've got a boat capsized right on the start line there. Just trying. Is that Fisher and Pykle or is Yandu maybe potentially? Is Yandu.
There's not many boats of that bluey colour.
Nope. We've less than 3 minutes to go now as well for the start.
Okay, so Cup, who are you backing? I know
No, I'm gun. I'm Finport.
You're on Finport.
I'm just going new boat, new.
You're saying the top four is going to be Finport, Andu, Yandu, Smeg. Is that your order?
Yeah, that'll do me.
See? All right.
Like the Smeg's always good in a good breeze. Like Coco just loves sailing in a bit of pressure. Got Mike McKenzie. And with less than 2 minutes to go. So, wonder if we're going to see that black flag come out today, Jimmy.
Well, we had a few of them last week, but...
Concerning is the Yandu still capsized in the middle of the start line.
It looks like there's someone about halfway up the rig in the water, Cubby. So
I just can't see through the start boat at the moment. But
I'll jog forward a little here for you, and you can see them up near sort of like the top spreader area.
Yeah, it looks like the trapeze connection area to me,
yes.
potentially.
Diagnosed by Dr. Cub.
Yeah.
Okay, just coming to the last minute now. Fleet pretty well behaved, I think, Cub. There we go.
Final minute, Bucko. Yandu coming up. That's good.
Rush and roll. And they've pulled it off, or have they? Yes, they have. How about that?
Looks like we've got the Burrowang in a capsized position as well. Poor Nick's had his first capsize.
In a way. The Yandu's struggling to get going down at the leeward end there.
It looks looking a bit conservative, all the boats behind the start line at the moment, Bucko.
Except for the guy at the windward end here.
Right.
Lazarus doing the usual will do this. I think Smeg looking like they're going to go and mortgage the pin. And Birkenhead Point approaching on port. Cubby, did you talk to them about that?
No, negative.
No
port start.
No.
All right, so getting to about the 10-second mark.
Fisher and Pykle over early as we speak and ducking back down. Ducking back down.
Oh, this has got to be a general in my books, but
no, I think Fisher and Pykle was still over just. Individual? No.
General.
Okay.
There we go. It's going to help a lot of people, I think.
Okay, so Andu.
That other boat that was capsized, Cubby, was Noakes Blue. Was it? Oh, yeah, Noakes Blue. Wasn't
Burrowang. Okay.
So Andu started up near the boat end and looking at the fleet now, Cub, there's more wind than we thought even.
Yeah, no, it's picked up a couple of knots, Bucko, for sure.
Perhaps 18 even, looking at the twist profile and so forth, and the amount of spray flying around.
Definitely picked up a couple of knots.
Yeah. Well, practice start. First one for 2023. I thought they were in good order.
Well, they were sitting there sort of comfortable, and then all of a sudden they just took off with 10 seconds to go. So that was a bit of a negative. So let's see, restart. Something extra for us to watch. I was showing some concern for the Birkenhead coming across on port, like you said. It looked like something was going amiss in the control room.
Shall we say? Shall we say? Oh well. Okay. So they're all coming back. And the new Finport. Cubby, something we didn't mention was the boats which aren't here today. Noakes Youth, Lazarus Youth, and Noakes, Sean Lehman, Ed Powys, and perhaps Reese Mara still en route from NZ, I understand.
Yes. Been following the progress of the Noakes in New Zealand as well. It looks positive.
Yep.
But Sean will be back here when the boat's back from New Zealand, I'm sure.
I've seen Sean the other day. He's got a little brace around his hand. He
saw that as
from
well.
Hobart, where he the hatch blew off, and Sean was trying to hold it down and done some damage to his hand. But he'll be. He said he'd be fighting fit and back in time. So.
Okay, as long as it wasn't his schooner hand.
Well, not the way I seen him the other day, Cubby. I don't think it was his schooner hand.
Okay, so we've got the little jitters out of the way, Bucko.
You reckon?
I think so. But well, I think we rushed into this. Did you have a top pick?
Did I have a what?
A top pick? Who's your pick for today?
I think the race will be fought out between Rag and Famish and Andu, but
Okay. What about
6
Jimmy?
minutes.
I don't think we got a tip from the captain.
he's exhausted from the 16-footer national.
I'm all good, Bucko.
Oh, yeah,
I'm good. Red Bull is my friend,
The Red Bull is my friend.
so I'm good.
All right, so a tip, Jimmy?
My tip, look, I think Yandu for mine, and I'd like to put my money on Keegan on the Finport, but being a new boat, I'm just sort of a bit nervous that something hasn't been put in properly.
Right.
But
So they're the two boats I've gone with today
yeah,
as well.
No, well,
You may have put the money there.
yeah, and probably Lazarus, Marcus Ashley Joan with Rob Bell jumping in there. Geronimo, I think, will be my wild card, that's for sure. And then Smeg is, I think, a definite. I think Ricky's got, there's a 5-minute gun. Ricky's got something to prove after a very, very disappointing end to the 16-foot skiff nationals. Their bridle got caught under their rudder pin and lifted it out, going up the last work to the finish, and that was the end of their regatta. All they had to do was just finish where they were. They'd done enough damage to the Typhoon, and
Yes, we're all in awe of that.
that's the way that we always say. It's not over till the fat lady sings. Well, you've never seen a more sunken feeling in your life of those guys. It was Davey O'Connor, another 18-footer guy, steering it with Pete Mackey and Ricky Bridge, and they only boat to win 4 heats of the title. They had 2 shockers, and they had this really good race in the last heat. And I just think Ricky will have more than plenty to be angry about here today.
Highly motivated, eh, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There's the Smeg on screen. Less than 4 minutes to go before the start. Well, at least the second start. A little shout out to Marine Outlet.
New sponsor?
Cam Gundy's new sponsor. Something with Harry Bethwaite and John Walton. So they've had some early season form. So hopefully the new sponsor
There they are on
will be
screen.
happy about that. Yeah, Marine Outlet.
Van Munster boats on the actual hull.
I think there's a collaboration there.
Yeah. Just a small one.
So good luck to them today. They've actually pulled off some performances far better than what we would have given them credit for so far this season. So with a new sponsor, maybe there's a little bit of new gear.
They had a horrid spinnaker. Remember that horrible spinnaker they had that you wouldn't even use for a car cover?
No, very good car covers. Yeah. So good luck to Cam.
Yeah.
All right, less than 3 minutes to go.
So the starters haven't put up any infringement flags, so
Not yet. So
just another clean shot at the start here.
So just to recap, we've had a general recall already, so all the boats were over the line. Well, the majority of them were, and the starter couldn't work out who was and who wasn't. So
they would have let us go in the olden days, wouldn't they? They're in a line.
They would have just waved you through, Bucko.
Come on, boys.
Yeah. So maybe they're just going a little bit easy on them on the first race back.
No.
Things are going to get a bit tough in the next, we've got 6 weeks until the JJs start.
Yeah.
So there's a very little time now for the boats to get themselves up to speed. If they're not quite there yet, they've only got a short period of time where they can make some adjustments. So. Good spectator fleet.
I think that by and large the trips have used the 4-week break pretty effectively.
Yeah.
Talking to the people in the park at least.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, less than 2 minutes to go, Bucko.
So the
Spectator ferry looks pretty full.
Yeah.
On the traditional course, the northeast course, number 1, Bucko, we haven't mentioned that. So.
We haven't actually, Jimmy, but we think that maybe the viewers know what the number 1 course is by now, but you better go with it.
No, it's okay.
Yes. Triangle, hot dog triangle.
Well done.
With a natural jibe mark for the triangles at the rounding mark at the back of Shark Island. Fabulous course. Absolutely definitive Sydney Harbour special. 1 minute.
Perfect.
Yep.
We're looking a bit bit more conservative this time.
Well, yeah, but the favourites tending towards the leeward end this time.
So we saw the Rag and Famish being the race sponsors today. We'll just talk about them for a second. Early in the season, they were showed a clean pair of heels in the early part of the season. Then they've just sort of stepped back just a little bit, taken a few hits. I think Harry Price and his team are, got some stuff to show us just yet, Bucko.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit congested up the top end of the line here.
Harry Price with Scott Babbage in the 16s and won.
About 5 seconds to go.
Oh, and the Fisher and Paykel over again.
Oh, well and truly.
And whom else?
A nice start by Marine Outlet. We've got an individual recall, and that'll be Fisher and Paykel coming back.
And Andu left in the blocks. Got held up pretty effectively by Burrowing.
Okay. So just on screen now, the brand new Finport skiff, first race for her. She's hot off the press.
Yeah, and confident looking start from them.
Do we know much about the pedigree there, Bucko? Are we using North Gear, or has Flipper been involved?
No, it's the Nick Daly, Michael Carter show there.
Okay.
And Andu about 20 seconds in arrears after getting luffed head to wind and stopped almost in line virtually above the committee boat.
Copy.
A bit of catching up to do there.
So we're probably just seeing the tide turn about now.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
a run out tide.
Just the beginnings of the ebb.
Maybe see a little bit of a rougher conditions a bit later on in the race.
Cubby, we're riding, with the fleet here. Rag and Famish going to be advanced enough to tack across.
Well, as long as that's what we're hoping.
Okay. I'm asking you the question, mate. Come on.
Will they make it? I think probably Woody's for B's
he looks
sitting nicely.
Yandu looks like they could be leading it in the middle of the line there, but Rag and Famish going pretty fast through the water, Cubbo.
Yeah, I think we've got the Yandu just sailing a little bit higher.
Yeah.
He loves that mode. So he's got that big headsail on, the big
Smaller headsail.
The big smaller headsail is the only way to put it.
But close to full inversion there at times, Cubby.
Yeah, well, he seems to love that sort of 12 to 15 knot range.
But we're above that now.
Yeah.
And the Rag's got the conventional setup with a shorter jib foot, so we'll see. The Rag, I think, is a leading cup, but I'm not sure they've got enough up their sleeve to take across. But
we've got Smeg tucked in there nicely as well. It's he's probably the boat on the left of your screen at the moment, Smeg.
Yep. So the Rag, will not cross.
Negative, no cross there.
So he's had to bear away to go behind Smeg, so that's a benchmark there.
So this is seems to be a little bit of north in the breeze, Bucko.
Yeah, on this edge.
And it's pushing the boats a little bit low, so they're not gonna make it all the way to Bradley's before they tack.
Good stuff. Good pressure at the headland, that is for sure. And a large spectator craft in the way a bit up here.
Okay.
Yandu just going to the tack now, and the leader will actually be Finport. How about that, Cup?
No, he's...
Your money's safe, mate.
For the
At this stage.
We've got... the viewers can't see it on screen. Obviously, there's the Finport there, but directly behind the camera boat, the Andus tacked out from a bad start. They were literally pinned at the start line. They've made a bit of a dig out to the right-hand side of the course, and they're right behind us at the moment, and not looking in too bad a shape from where they started. Okay, so currently probably the Lazarus leads the race.
Yeah, that's probably right, isn't it, Cup?
Yeah, I'm thinking Marcus Ashley Jones has got the Lazarus into a nice spot. They look settled. The boat's flying, a little bit of bow out of the water, and she's just ripping along there. So we've got Lazarus, Rag and Famish and Smeg out to the right.
Yeah, I think Finport's still in the lead though, Cup, just. But anyway, very close between those two boats. So, just Finport going fast, Cup.
Yeah, no, he looks good.
Look at him, he's ripping. I suppose, Jimmy, we would have to say that fairly difficult to improve on Gussie Williams and Phil Marshall, yeah?
Mate, two very good hands. So
yeah, exactly. Rock solid.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk around that. You know, Gussie's probably the number one sort of sheet hand, like full-time sheet hand around at the moment for a lot of classes. He's quite tall and doesn't understand the word stop. So
yeah.
She's like a rocket ship at the moment, the Finport. Yeah. So fingers crossed for them. Like being their first hit out there, they're trying to gauge how the boat's going, and you know, they've got stuff stretching in. But anyway, at the moment, they'll be happy.
Well, they're cleanly in front, aren't they?
Lazarus and Yandu on screen, just going head to head.
Yep.
Just coming into the picture now, Smeg, like we know Michael Coxon likes the fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Got his old forward hand back in the boat, Mike McKenzie. So
wait for it.
Yeah.
There you go. Shippo's favourites.
Yeah.
Big wash off the power boat.
Ooh, so Finport's elected to go to the extreme right-hand side of the course. So
the less tax theory, Cub, I think.
Well, it mightn't hurt them for their first race, but
exactly.
Ooh.
Very solid pressure here. Oh, good.
Ooh,
Andu and Rag and Famish there on the screen.
So that suggests that the Rag and Famish are struggling if Andu's caught them already.
It's just regulation at the moment, Bucko. It's not super fresh here. It's three strings.
Ooh.
A little bit of dust for the marine outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, 16 there, Cub, every bit of. And the water's starting to bump up already, I think, to some degree. Tide beginning to ebb. So let's see here.
Shaw and partners there on screen. So they've sort of elected to go to the right-hand side of the course as well. So we've got, just to try and give some perspective, we've got boats right out on the right-hand side, and we've got boats on the left as well. Yandu's probably the furthest on the left. There's Finport on the way back. He's the boat that's led the fleet out to the right-hand side of the course.
So at the moment he leads, I'd say, by about 5 boat lengths, Cup.
Oh, he's comfortable at the moment.
Yep.
Yep.
Easily 5 boat lengths. So there's nothing wrong with that new piece of equipment he's got there.
Will you be happy so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But you know how it is, Cup. If you get it right, sometimes that's the best day, isn't it? You know, brand new, everything's shiny, everything's perfect.
Oh.
And if it all works, it's a good day out.
Yeah. Tribeca from St George. Yeah, so he's look, I think for a lot of these guys, they've been sailing all Christmas. It might not have been 18-foot skiffs, but I'm thinking we've got a bit of match fitness here.
Pretty match fit. Yeah, absolutely.
I find skiff sailing is a little bit of just do it without thinking about it.
Yeah, you're
right. The natural skills are coming to the top. So Finport on screen, he's our current race leader in the brand new boat.
Still a fair degree of difference though between a 16 and one of these, Cup.
There is. I'm not going there, but
no, stop.
Just coming into play a little bit behind the fleet is one of the Manly ferries, one of the freshwater class. Just making his way up the main channel now.
Hopefully with not too many people on it. Cubby, Manly Beach is completely closed today.
Oh, is that right?
Surf carnival going on. They've closed from Manly right in the corner all the way up to Queenscliff. No one...
I think they should save those carnivals until middle of winter, I think.
I mean, what a piece of nonsense that is, James.
Right, Smith.
The rest of the madness that the Manly Council are doing at the moment, why not just add to it?
On board with Keegan here in the Finport. Breen and Breen solicitors. That headsail looks nice and powerful, Bucko. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a look at that, Jimmy, if we can get him. Hope he comes out of the tack.
I was going to say there's...
yeah, I know.
I'll try my hardest for you. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Nice little bit of ease just going into that tack, and here we go.
They're looking like they're looking pretty secure in the boat, aren't they? The head of the mainsail beautifully twisted.
Yep.
Fair bit of cutting on it. That would be a Grunt 01, that jib. So
they look like they're only in third gear at the moment.
Oh, it's going through the water very nicely though, Cubby.
Cross here with Yandu on board the Smeg at the moment.
Yeah. So from that you'd say that Yandu is certainly no slower, I would suggest, but I think it's going to turn into a war of attrition, Cub, actually. Looking upwind now, there's a bit of 18 knots here that Yandu's just tacked in on the corner of Clifton Gardens.
So interesting there, we've got Yandu on screen. He was our left-hand side participant, and Finport just leading, who was our right-hand side participant. And then they've both stepped out from the rest of the fleet just by a few boat lengths by the looks of it.
But there's another blue boat called Yandu coming to join the party fairly shortly.
Remember, he had a horrid start, Yandu, so...
Yep. So he was about six to 8 boat lengths in arrears off the line.
Yeah, there's no slouch there in the end too.
No. So, but Cub, if we looked at it in terms of who's built what, the two boats with sail from Nick Daly first and second, and then Pandu and Smeg with North. Plenty of freedom to sail, these guys, with the tight ebb.
Just on board with the Royal Oak Four Pines there, the green boat in screen.
Yandu lining up the tack here.
Oh, it's all right, we've got a loose cover on him.
Big, yeah.
So we're sort of past the halfway mark to the first beat, Bucko. Finport still leads, seems to have come out of that nicely.
Well, yeah, he's put some space between him and Yandu by some means. I'm not sure how that worked out, but maybe the ferry was in play there a bit, Cup.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. Okay, so he's got the new boat. He's got a new rig plan. Let's see how he goes when he get around the top mark. Well, all week just recently we've seen the Moon and Yacht 16 sail tremendously well downwind, fast.
Yeah.
So no good being fast upwind if you're not equally as good or faster downwind as well. So let's see what sort of spinnakers they've come up with.
Well, I know they've been working hard on it. I'll get a briefing through the week from Nick Daly and perhaps Michael about what they've actually been working on. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Right. Okay. Right, so if we just look back through the fleet, let's... I'm still going to maintain Finport as the leader here, probably Yandu second. Yandu starting to climb over the top of Smeg on screen. So maybe Yandu might even stretch out into second position after this next cross with the Yandu.
Yeah, he's pretty close now.
Just looking back in the field a little bit, everyone's sort of regulation back there. Bucko. Marine outlets dropped back a fair bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there.
Yeah.
Might have been a bad tack or two, do you think? Oh, beautiful work from Josh in the bow of the Yandu there. Wow.
There's our race sponsor on board on the camera there. Rag and Famish looking great. Jeez. Wow. Great close-up shot there of the Rag and Famish just throwing in attack.
Rag and Famish looking fairly comfortable.
Okay, so Yandu probably still leads Andu here as well. So
Yeah.
just on Andu at the moment.
Got the top six here, more or less. Finport, Yandu, Andu, Smeg, Lazarus, Rag and Famish in that order.
So no Sam Newton on the Andu today. He's off with F50 commitments in Singapore. And Katut's there, Jimmy.
Yeah, little Matty Stenner's jumped in.
Stenner, yeah.
He was a bowman on Moon and Yachts for the week. So a lot of these guys are up to eight days of sailing. Skiffs one way or the other.
And loving it. All right, so
But the point about match fitness is entirely valid, Cub, isn't it? You know.
So just leading into the top mark now, just looks like Finport's on a lay. So he's going to round that top mark without having to do any more tacks.
Well, he's got her in the high mode, Cub, I think.
As long as you get there, Bucko.
Yeah.
So he stepped out now to a nice handy lead. There's good half a dozen boat lengths there.
Yeah, he's flying. He just needs a jib just then. Good stuff. That's a well-sailed, accurate first beat, isn't it?
Oh, well, yeah.
There he goes, on the fairway. It's going to be 20 seconds.
I'd say so. Woody's struggling to get in there.
Windward set, is it? On the Finport.
Well,
Same
little
old.
wine glass as well to go with it. So there we go. He's all set. Now, Bucko.
Yeah, 20, just a bit over 20.
Yeah, good call. So Yandu round in second, Andu coming round in third place. Smeg in fourth. A little way off then to the Rag and Famish and Lazarus.
Rag and Famish going to get their fifth. And Lazarus sixth.
Good set.
Rag
on
and
the
Famish
Yandu.
slightly better lay line. And you'd expect him to get on the other jibe pretty promptly here, wouldn't you, Cub?
Yeah, well, Harry seems to like the jibe set, so let's just see what they do. Yeah. Doesn't look like they're doing it.
No, bear away.
Yep. Regulation. Lazarus chasing them hard. After the Lazarus, we've got the Shoreham Partners and Balmain Slate coming in hot.
The Royal Oak above Balmain, Cubby.
Oh, yeah, he's a little bit high. He's coming in very hot. He's doing a bit of sightseeing, I think, the Royal Oak.
Well, fair bit of left in the breeze up the top here. So, as you can see, they're only laying down to Nielsen in plenty of pressure.
Okay. There's a Royal Oak 4 Pines round. Next will be Young Henrys, burrowing Young Henrys. Brett Van Munster on the sticks.
Opposite end of the boat that he went to Hobart.
So far he's gone okay. Just on board here with the burrowing, I noticed the forward hand wearing a helmet. Or is that the main sheet? Brandon. I noticed one of the up in Queensland just recently, one of the media crews revived a fin sailor who had been knocked unconscious and was face down in the water. And the media crew was the only vessel close by, and they managed to jump in, grab the guy, administer some CPR, and brought him back to life. And he's still around today to tell the tale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I read something about that.
Yeah, it was just during the week at the Fin Nationals, I think. So, well done to that media crew who saved the guy's life. I'm sure he'll be eternally grateful. So, Bucko, the breeze just seems to have dropped a little. No.
Oh, I think there's still plenty down at the compression at Bradley's head, Cubbo. Okay. You know, the guys were just about inverted at stages there off the line, and I can't do anything but build a bit now, can I?
Yeah, no.
They're looking to the west. I mean, the temperature out there today in the 30s, so high 80s for you people in Fahrenheit.
So we're seeing a couple of jibes from the boat, so it's not your true nor'easter where they might just do one jibe and get down to Shark Island. Keegan York still leads in the fin port. Okay, we got someone upside down at the Beetle Buoy, but there's the rest of the fleet trailing us down. Just on the Yandu currently, probably sitting in maybe second spot. It looks like Smeg's made a little bit of a move, Bucko, up into second spot. Pulled a fair bit of time back out of the fin port.
Yeah, the fin port pressing hard up against the island there in the back of the shot. And you're right, but the Smeg is on the low road too, Cup. What would you be doing, mate? A bit of ragging?
Well, it's bottom hooks all the way, definitely.
Right. What did you say? Rag early, rag off?
Fin port's got the struggle street on there at the moment. It was lower. It just depends on that gust you get through here.
Yep.
Just to the right of the screen, just we can't see them at the moment, but Andu is just full tilt as well. Half the boat's out of the water and they're just centered. Finport still hasn't been able to pull the chute back on. Woody just chipping away.
And Smeg, to lord of him in a bit of bother, I would say, here, Cup.
The boat that's hot is Andu just off screen.
Yeah.
All right, Keegan's got the chute back on. He's lost a little bit of gauge on the rest of the fleet there, but he still leads.
But here's how narrow the needle is, though, Cup. We're looking at Andu. He's now VMG running to get to the mark in left pressure.
Yeah.
So the difference of only about 40 metres. Not very much, is it?
And Finport round now. So.
And for the viewers at home, not on screen, Rag and Famish is just almost capsized. Just here they are.
Rag and Famish down, and for the time being, capsized to windward as well. Andu struggling.
Get on Andu. They're going to miss the bar kick, Cubby.
Yep.
Andu. Yep. We can get around onto them.
Yep. So okay, so they completely missed the mark there. So they've got to drop that chute,
And
get it tucked away, and then they've got to go back.
An innovative lure drop, and then they're going to tackle the chute lying all over the boat, but they escaped, I think. Couldn't get the jibber back.
Right.
Just got Lazarus coming in hot.
Oh dear.
You'd just fire the tack line, really, wouldn't you? Anyway, struggle street on the Andu.
Jesus.
Right. Lazarus just around and jibed and heading off to the bottom mark, while Andu still struggles in the background.
So if you're looking downwind, viewers, you can see the Smeg just had to flap their chute to get up around the back of a cruising boat in the way on the racetrack. They will all be driving back down here, Cup, so the breeze far enough in the east down on the bottom reach.
Well, I think that's what's the telltale sign of the boats getting tight alongside Shark Island there, Bucko. And, it means there's a little bit of, maybe the breeze has just swung back into that northeast proper.
Riding with Lazarus down onto the Point Air and Point Piper. And they're looking in.
Well, there's an 18-foot skiff in full tilt, isn't it?
Yeah, and a good little gain to them.
Yeah.
Finport still leads comfortably. Lazarus in fourth.
He also looks like he's going to lay that mark about another jibe, doesn't he?
And a Finport going to the mark at full speed, so confident he doesn't have to jibe.
Lazarus are getting oysters off the rocks down there. Not on
So
screen.
the Finport's probably extended a little, Bucko, which is good for them. So with Finport leading, we've got Yandu second and Smeg in third spot. Almost completed the first lap of the race. Seeing a few white caps back up the harbour, so the breeze is nice and steady. I think we can expect it to see a little bit of seaway this time, Bucko. Wind against tide.
Yeah, each successive beat a little more difficult than the previous one.
Not a big tide though, but still
No,
enough.
but it's enough, isn't it, mate?
Yep.
So Finport had to do a completed jibe, or maybe they're going home.
Where are they going?
Going home.
What?
Boat might not have been weighed yet or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe, they're just going to go and get a sign written on the hull or something, come on.
I don't know. That's a wow. There we go. Race leader.
Well, they hadn't started any other race of the championship, and so they've figured out that the boat's pretty good, and they've probably learnt that there's some little things they would like to amend.
Keegan and Gus will be absolutely buggered after a week.
Yeah, so they've come fresh off the 16-footer championship, which only finished yesterday, so you wouldn't blame them, in fact.
Just put her away.
And fresh off last night, says Mr. Chittenden in the background. Thank you, Michael. Yeah.
The young Alex is driving our main camera. Alex Chittenden on the Cunningham's, they won on handicap, the 16 titles, so...
Okay, so
all right, lead handed to Yandu.
Yeah,
and about
change the baton.
20 seconds to Smeg and 15 more to Lazarus.
Okay, so we're one of the movers and shakers now, Bucko, I think, is the Royal Oak. Just come through now, sitting happily in fourth spot.
Yeah, and the Balmain Slate's gone okay too.
So I can see in the distance, a little bit hard for our viewers to see, but Rag and Famish look like they've retired as well. They're
they bit the dust on the windward side of Shark Island.
Coming back down here with no spinnaker on those, so maybe there was some damage.
Yep. Some kind of problem.
Yep.
And
Balmain Slate rounding the mark now, followed by Shore and Partners and Brett Van Munster in the Burrowang.
Yeah, and then Andu, who's gone back around the mark at Shark and reinstated themselves. Not a bad effort from them to be in the top 10.
Okay,
so just to recap that, Andu first, Smeg second, Lazarus third,
Royal Oak
fourth,
Yandu in first, Bucko.
Sorry, Yandu, yes, sorry. Lazarus.
Okay, we've lost sight of the Birkenhead skiff as well. What's going on there?
Well, they were bringing up the rear at the top mark, Cub, I regret to inform you.
Fair enough.
The deck was not non-skidded or something, I'm not sure.
Oh, it had plenty of non-skid on it, that's for sure. You wanted a new wetsuit to sail that boat if you put a knee on the deck. There's,
Maybe a little jungle gym for them. A little swim.
Yeah.
All right, so Bucko, can the Yandu hold on from there? They were,
They were certainly not lacking speed upwind.
they were our last race winners.
That's right.
So even that's pre-Christmas. Whoa. Green outlet just struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Cup. The breeze is doing what we speculated it would do.
Yep,
A little pressure over the whole track.
This is your stock standard summer nor'easter now.
Plus a bit. Plus a little.
I like the plus.
Plus a little.
Plus is always good.
But looking upstream there, yes, Yandu leads by, looks like a little more, perhaps 8 boat lengths perhaps.
He's comfortable there, isn't he?
Yep.
And he looks happy. So
Smeg Lazarus. So I'll go back to what I said before. I still think it's going to turn into a war of attrition to some degree.
we've seen that already.
So we've seen Yandu fall out of the podium, temporarily at least, from misjudging the jibe angle into the jibe mark at Shark Island. And then then trying for an innovative spinnaker drop, we'll call it that, Jimmy, won't we?
very innovative.
Innovative.
Oh, never seen that one before. That's a new one in the book. Just a rag and famish, just trying to ascertain if they've done any damage. Noakes Blue heading up to the top mark, second time. Just getting the going home sign from Harry Price there, so no further participation in today's race for the Rag and Famish, today's race sponsor. Great shot there of the Smeg and the building nor'easter. A few white caps starting to filter through now, Bucko.
A few coming.
Yeah, well, pretty much everyone.
There's lots of white sheep in the paddock, mate.
Slow in the trapeze wire down and swing a bit harder. Not as many boats out on the harbour today, like recreational traffic. It's not too bad. Great shot of the Balmain slate there. So where do we think they're running? They're sort of shuffled
Maybe
up
fourth,
in the
fifth with Royal Oak here.
Yeah, fourth or fifth. So still only, maybe 3/4 of a minute between the top 5 boats, so it's good.
Yeah, the Royal Oak is certainly one of the better races I've had this year. If they can maintain that, they'd be pleased with themselves.
Yep.
So now, Cub, I think, these guys are just going to go low risk here and long legs and bounce off the shorelines, less tax.
Make it easier for the captain.
Yep. Ebb tide helps enough.
Woody's still amazing, isn't he? Like, I know we say it every time, but it's 70-year-old captain. He's just killing it. Right, a little bit of power boats starting to filter through now. It's going to give a little bit of wash to a couple of boats.
Well, and Lazarus about to, big power boat behind them, a big ferry wash in front of them.
Shipper will be pulling what's left of his hair out.
It's the start of the brigade, isn't it?
On board with Lazarus. Marcus is hanging in there. We were talking about the war of attrition. If anything went wrong, he's just off the lead pack there.
Yeah, and they've been pretty solid.
Marcus on the URM, I believe, didn't they get the in the Hobart? They got the conventional ballast record.
Ah, yes. I think I read that over the break. So no canting keel on the URM.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic.
Nice simple yacht.
Simple yacht. Just that drone shot of the Yandu there. He's just been comfortable with the boys sailing this year, hasn't he? He's, well, I think he's slightly improved on last season, if you could say that.
Yeah, I think, Josh has had a pretty big impact. If you watch them in the manoeuvre phase, they're pretty tidy now.
Yeah.
And
And like Woody is relying heavily on his two crew.
Yeah.
Drag the Yandu around. But I think that setup, that turboed headsail, it just loves this weight of breeze.
Well,
so Coco will be happy with the Smeg. They're obviously comfortably second at the moment, and the first three boats have actually stepped out a little bit from the rest of the, say 4, 5, and 6.
good shot here of the Lazarus in the tack. Pretty nice fresh air tack.
Yeah, nice and steady, flat to flat. Can't ask for more than that. Little wave from from Marcus there.
So how about that?
Loves a camera.
Looking up the track, folks, Smeg crossed Yandu after Yandu didn't do that good attack coming off the shoreline.
Okay, Bucko, I missed that one.
Yep.
So Smeg, the race leader, the new race leader.
So that big jib might not be quite the right answer after all, Cub, do you think?
I'm not giving up on him yet, Bucko.
No, I wouldn't. But like I said, mate, in my view, it'll be determined by who keeps the black spiky carbon thing pointing up.
And we haven't even got to the last lap yet. We know it's going to get a little bit fresher.
Yep. And Coco does enjoy this. He does enjoy
He loves it.
no bending the knees type conditions.
He does like a send-it nor'easter, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. They look comfortable there, the Smeg.
Well, what's the crew I'll be looking at there, Cub? Pretty solid.
Yeah, no, they're good.
No, the crew weight.
Oh, in terms of weight?
Yeah.
What do you reckon they're pushing, Bucko?
A lot, I would say.
Well, there's a bit of Christmas cheer there as well. There's a few Christmas lunches.
A bit of professional conditioning.
Yeah, the leg ham.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did see him throw a new set of spinnaker sheets. You can see that red rope just around the headsail there. So that was a brand new set of spinnaker sheets today. So that's the Floridan's nightmare, I'd say.
Yeah, well, welcome to the boat, Mikey.
Yeah.
Great to fill in, and his new spinnaker sheets just to make sure you remember your experience for the week.
Which we haven't soaked yet. Yeah, right.
No, it was handed straight to them off the roll, I think. Yeah. So it just makes it a little bit slippery. The ropes, when they're brand new, 2 or 3 races before, all the oils and stuff wash out of the rope. So
Unless one does the proper preparation, Cub.
the old 5 Ps, is it?
Yeah. Something like that.
Great drone shot.
Pretty bouncy here in the middle. Powerboat washes in all directions.
So on screen, first and second, Smeg crossed Yandu the last time. So let's just see if Woody's been able to settle down. He's throwing in attack now. The Yandu coming back on starboard, so they have the right of way. So we'll just follow their progress as they come together. Yeah, great. Yandu's looking good here, I think. That's
Yeah, I don't know. No, I think Smeg can just cross him. Yep, just clean cross, Cub.
close.
Yep, close, but 2 boat lengths sort
Low
of. Yeah.
cigar. All right. So Smeg still leads. I got to say, Bucko, my money's on Yandu, so a bit biased.
Yeah. You're accommodating with your betting money, mate.
But we did say pre-race that the Schmeg, they love. Okay, they love that fresh nor'easter. Coco is in his element. There's the camera boat. We're perfectly timed with the Yandu there, Bucko.
Lovely.
Got good speed and height on the Yandu, don't we?
I think you can luff them up a bit, Jim. So the chasing pack's fallen off too, even further.
Well, as it gets up range and the water gets bumpier, it gets more difficult, particularly for the crews that aren't up the weight curve.
Yeah.
And Yandu using the full width of the harbour here. They should be on a lay from when they tack the next time.
So for me, Yandu's going to tack back, come out here on his port ley line, hopefully. And with the tide running out, like this start of this western channel here is where the tide runs probably the fastest in Sydney Harbour.
Just here, exactly.
Just here, right where Woody is right now. So you've got that whole run out of the Parramatta River.
Yeah.
Sort of comes out to Rose Bay and then heads up to Middle Head. So Woody's a maximum tide advantage there. So
well, let's see. Yeah, he'll need a bit of current help to lay from there, Cubby. Probably would have been better advised to overstand a fraction. Look at the compression on the headland.
There might be a little bit of little northy.
Yeah, a bit of left.
Bit of left, if anything.
Yep.
No, there's not much in it.
Nah.
It's nail biting.
Smeg's got him.
Purely for the fact they're on starboard, I think.
No.
No? You reckon there's a boat length?
Didn't have to duck. So Smeg's got a good shot of the ley line here. Woody's got to do 2 more tacks, I think, Cub.
Let's see. I don't know. He's in high mode.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
If you did notice,
we're just getting in behind him now.
Woody did the old trick where you just go bow down a little bit, so when the guy comes across you, he goes, oh no, we've still got 4 or 5 boat lengths to go, and I think that's what we're going to see unfold here.
Okay, so they're nice and flat and fast, the Yandu, and the tide is running out, but they're a half a chance of laying that.
I'd say they'll lay looking at that. It's a little bit of a header as you go across, but a little bit of a lay.
This could be a tactical move for the Yandu and getting them back into first spot. The old fox. He's just picked that lay line.
He's confident.
Yeah. So, Bucko, it does look like the Yandu back in front.
Yeah, just marginal.
Top mark for the second time. This is a windward leeward run. VMG run to the bottom.
And as we've noted, favouring the Bradley's head shore down the bottom half.
Yeah.
How you get there, another question entirely, but
always a bit rough down there when you want to do your jive as well. It's just
I wouldn't know anything about that, Cup.
No, you would. So Yandu, we're on Yandu and Smeg, first and second for the second lap. We've got 1 more lap to go.
Their bows at the mark. Away they go.
Here we go. Let's see. Ooh, got to keep it upright.
The Smeg too much heel on, perhaps.
Yep. She's flat now.
They got the job done.
Coming in. Oh, Woody's gone for the jibe set. So
I think it's a good move.
Yeah. Yep. There's a little bit of north in that breeze, I think.
Yep.
Only thing is, it's given him a windward set, Bucko.
They don't mind that nowadays.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, when we had Sean on before Christmas, he was saying they try and set up to have windward sets, and I was a bit baffled by that. But
well, it's great if you've got a brand new spinnaker, but it's
you're not doing it with an old one, are you?
No, it's harder. But I think it was the right thing to do, whatever happened, because he's heading, he's bowed down, heading for the bottom mark.
Yeah, no, I think what you'll see here is Andu extend a little bit.
Yep.
Great pressure down the middle. They're going to the strongest wind at Bradley's.
Correct. And Lazarus round in third spot.
So about about 35 seconds in arrears.
Yeah, and there we got the Yandu on screen, full tilt.
And that is smoking there.
He's in a commanding position, isn't he? He's like not putting a foot wrong.
Well,
just trying to give the viewers a little bit of an idea. We've got the Yandu just approaching the top mark for the second time in 4th spot.
Shaw and Partners not far behind him. Cubby coming over from Bottle and Glass.
Shaw and Partners there in 5th. But there's a big gap after that. Big gap.
well, the rest of them have been on the riding lever at some point, maybe with the exception of Balmain Slate.
Right.
Yeah, Balmain Slate, you got Burrawang Hotels at the Western Light with Royal Oak. And Marine Outlet not far behind.
And do around and setting now. So they're going to go for the jibe set as well. Must be a father and son thing though.
The playbook, mate, the playbook.
Straight out of the play.
I've been watching the old tapes. Yes, I mean, if we were travelling with Lazarus and you can see in the background Bradley's head, so they're laying down into that compression zone.
They're not afraid to send it, are they, Marcus and the boys on Lazarus?
The only saving grace going in for the next jibe is Yandu, if he can get far enough into the bay there, it's a little bit flatter water.
Yeah, I think he's nearly optimised it though, Chubb. He's close. He's just to the west of the cardinal mark on the reef.
Yeah.
Where the water is smoother.
You do get a little bit of a back eddy there from the run out tide as well, which tends to flatten it just a little bit as you go in. Yeah. Alright, so the leaders, Bucko.
That's
That's
Andu there
Andu
on
on
screen.
screen. Yeah. So unfortunately, Andu's probably fallen back a couple of minutes behind the leaders, maybe a minute and a half. A little bit of air there with the Lazarus.
A little bit of air for the camera cut too, Chubb.
Yeah. We're just letting the pictures talk for themselves here. There's 18-foot skiff racing just there. Lazarus, three crew on trapeze just concentrating on their rig setup. So just ahead of Lazarus, the leader Yandu's jibe nicely. They're now running down along the Bradley's Head shore, so they're still lead. Hot in pursuit, the Smeg.
And I'd say that's just a comfortable lay line down to the bottom. Just a nice completed jibe into the bottom, I think.
Okay, so Yandu will be the closest to the mark, Bucko. They're a little bit lower on the course than Smeg.
Yep.
So there's an advantage there.
Powerboat about to get in their way.
That's first and second there on screen.
Just watching these guys go downhill. Yandu sailing noticeably flatter than Smeg. Smeg a little bit of safety heel, designed to give you weather helm. Yandu,
We've probably got Yandu on screen. Smeg just pushing hard here.
absolutely.
They're looking for a game-changing moment here.
Absolutely.
3 strings flat stick.
So we're going a little over 26 knots, parallel with Smeg, 25 knots. Wow.
Definitely the odd bit of air there. You can see the rig compressing under each bounce on the waves.
Yep. Slowed down a little bit now after that bit of bad seaway. Oh. Back to 20 knots.
Yeah. There's your postcard shot with the Harbour Bridge in the background, Bucko.
And that Sydney Opera House thing as well, eh?
Yeah, and even the fort.
And the fort. Beautiful.
So the difference between these two boats at the moment is We've got the Schmieglers pushing hard. 3 strings, flat stick. As against the Yandu. John Wooding taking the cautious approach, sitting in on the wing a little. On the
sailing the boat a little more upright as well.
Ooh, Smeg just got hit by a big gust then.
And they did rag the chute. So
right on the wave too.
Yeah, right on the wave. But the Yandu just ticking away there.
yeah. No.
Good stuff. So they're now all starting to think about their jibe back to the bottom mark. So there goes the sheet hand on the Smeg to set up for the jibe. We're just on board with the Smeg.
Jibe angle here about 70 degrees.
Right. A little bit slow in the jibe for the Smeg, but not too bad.
And I think the Yandu a bit early, Cub here.
Well, this will pay out at the bottom mark, so let's see.
We're lined up with Smeg, and you see the bottom mark just to the right of the screen there.
I think Woody's going to be okay.
No, Woody's okay. He's got a good bit of pressure.
It's going to give him time to get the spinnaker down nicely, a little bit squarer. Bit of relief for the forward end.
He doesn't need any of that, mate.
Well, the Smeg's got the pressure on. Just take that spinnaker down, hard on the wind.
Yeah, so Smeg wasted a couple of boat lengths there, but it's not completely a waste, and it gives you margin for error.
Oh, it's a great 1-2 race, this in the first and second. They're just pushing hard. And Lazarus behind us in third position, probably followed by Endu in the distance, young Herman.
Both boats safely got their chutes away, or close to.
Right, here comes Yandu, round the bottom mark for the last time.
A little dial up from both boats, and only about 10 seconds in it.
10 seconds, 3 boat lengths.
Yeah.
It's on. Game on.
Game is on.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
Smeg just a little higher than Yandu coming out of that. And for the viewers at home, these skiffs are able to hit the mark as long as they don't drag the mark. They're allowed to touch it. So a little bit different from some classes.
Some pretty good crew work there from the troops.
Yeah. Distant shot of the Yandu on screen. Jibing.
Andu. Lazarus not so tidy at the bottom.
No, but round in third.
Around in third. And not too far in arrears.
No, it's
a good effort. So, the Championship Lap Cup.
This is it, Bucko. What do we... pretty steady.
And solid.
Yeah.
Looking upwind now. Absolutely rock solid, 18 knots.
I'm not seeing too much extra seaway, though, so it's not too...
Yeah, but you wouldn't be feeling all that comfortable, I don't think. Wow, look at the Yandu. Wow.
There's the Shore and Partners and Balmain Slake.
Balmain Slake.
Like at the KFC mark for a bearing on the harbour.
They're looking up the harbour there towards North Head with the red chute. Shore and Partners. Balmain Slate with orange.
Birkenhead Point right up just after the...
Bringing up the rear.
Near Bottle and Glass.
So, and we're down at the bottom mark. Andu around in fourth, not on screen. They've done a good job.
Yeah, had an earlier disaster along Shark Island there. They've sort of...
Oh, I don't think you call it a disaster, Cup.
Going upwind with a spinnaker on?
Minor
not a disaster.
Minor misdemeanor.
Okay, or a minor misdemeanor.
Disaster when the whole crew goes around the forestay, mate, or something like that.
That's catastrophic.
So great stuff here from the drone of Balmain Slate. Final jibe into the bottom mark, about a minute in arrears at fourth. Not a bad jibe.
So on screen now, first and second. You seeing anything there, Bucko, you like or don't like about the rings?
Well, I'm of the view that the smaller jib will start to pay this beat for the speed.
Okay, because it's a little bit fresher.
Yep, I'm thinking that the Yandu rig, just a little bit too much inversion. And I think, I'm not certain, that the Smeg has a little bit less overlap on the jib leach as well.
Okay.
So more conservative, but more optimised around the 18 knot range.
Other than the jib being a little bit bigger on the Yandu, the setup doesn't seem dissimilar. Rig profiles,
very similar. Very similar, yeah. Yeah, the old story, the A grade converges into the same place more or less.
Yeah.
For, twist and depth and entry depth and
Yeah, that's
so
what
on.
it looks like.
Yeah.
Both the crews sailing exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Although there's a little bit of gauge now between the
Yeah, but
Smeg
that's
and
about
Yandu.
how they went around the market. Just let's look at the trapeze height on the Yandu. It's pretty impressive how low Fang and Josh are.
I think they're making up for Woody in that one.
Yeah, but Woody's got a nice clear view, and
Yeah.
so quite a contrast to the Smeg.
Look, I've noticed, so looks like the jib on Yandu is a little bit more on than on the Smeg. Bucko, just having a bit of a look just then.
Perhaps, yeah. Well, the mainsail set up on the Yandu a little flatter, which it has to be because the jib's a little bigger, I suppose. So
Maybe that smaller slot.
it's what you'd expect, right?
Yeah.
But wow, so Fang and Josh on the Yandu below the wing bar, unbelievable, fantastic to watch. But requires pretty accurate steering.
Yeah. And athleticism from the crew.
Yeah. Everything's a bit harder when you start from down there in the tack.
And I'll tell you, he's coming right back into the mix. I'll try and frame him up here on shot for you. Is Lazarus. They're not going to die wondering.
They're not too far out of it there, are they, Jimmy?
No.
So Yandu just passing the spectator ferry there, Bucko. So
Yep.
a lot of racing to come between now and the end of the season, and if people want to get out on the ferry, come down to the club.
Fully booked today, though, I'm told.
Fully booked?
Yep.
Standing room only.
Get in early.
Yeah, so if people are interested in coming down to watch the racing and go out on the ferry, you can book online. So just go to the club's website.
Yeah. And a bit hard for all you people offshore.
Yeah, but the people offshore just tune back in.
Well, it's not a bad day on the ferry. A couple of
It's a good laugh.
couple of beverages and yeah.
Here's the tack on Lazarus.
We saw them tack earlier, flat to flat, pretty similar tack.
Pretty controlled, pretty good.
No, they're in the mix. They'll be happy.
Well, it's the championship run to the finish cup with the old let's get the drive mark angle right into the island.
Yeah, well, that's going to be the big one. They've got to tackle that Shark Island again on the run down.
Yeah, with a little bit more wind overall, probably not much change in direction, I don't think. Anyway, travelling upwind here with Lazarus.
The ferry just cutting through.
With Yandu in the background.
Nothing major going on behind the main leaders here, so we'll just concentrate on the top 3 and 4.
Oh, looking pretty windy on the left-hand shore here, Cub.
There's the 3 of them on screen now. You got Smeg just to the left of screen.
Yep.
So that's race leader 2 and 3.
So we could be forgiven for thinking the Lazarus has actually gotten a little better as it's gotten windier. Just going through a bit of sail adjustment there.
Yeah.
He certainly seems to have maybe made up some time on Smeg.
Well, it's a little bit about the rough water cup here. I mean, have a look in front of us. You see a maelstrom, effectively.
Oh,
A couple of big power boats, a stupid jet boat. Niagara Falls.
They're sort of struggling in the wash where Smeg, right over on the western shore there, he's probably got that little bit of flat water.
Yeah, it makes it easy to tack. So Smeg's back on port now.
Yeah.
Can't quite see them left of screen, or you can now perhaps. Yes, just there. And across coming up with Yandu.
Lazarus about to cop another spectator boat here.
Decent sized wave too.
Yeah. All right, so Yandu crosses the Smeg, so Yandu still leads.
But not by a great amount. Same old 5 boat lengths really.
Lazarus chomping into some water there.
Oh. Camera kept chomping into some water.
It's definitely, the Lazarus have definitely the ones that have made a little bit of a move in the race.
Tell you what I did like during the week. There was no big power boats out on the harbour. It was peaceful.
Timmy, you wanted all your own way.
And it was all our own way. It was great.
Yeah, they can't be bothered going all the way up to Manly, mate. They just stop in the middle harbour these days. Most of them. And Lazarus is certainly in the hunt, aren't they?
Oh, they're definitely closed a bit of, although they've got a little bit of spectator traffic just ahead of them.
Oh.
Okay, just having a quick look and dialing out to the left. But if anyone's made a move, it's the Lazarus, and they're heading into the western side here. They're probably 10 seconds away from attack. There's a bit of jibbies there, looking for the right gust. Nice squirt coming down to him at the moment. Yeah. This one's going to knock him around a little. Just a breeze on now.
Better get it done, boys. Otherwise you're going to run out of wind like that.
That's it, Buggo.
Yep. Yeah, that's not ideal.
It's just a couple
of boat lengths too far.
Yeah.
Anyway, safe tack though.
So the only advantage for the Lazarus is they might just pick up a little bit of this north slant on the left side of the course.
Yeah. I mean they're in the right spot, pressure and angle wise.
Yeah.
And it's just a question of how many tacks now to the top. You know, can they just do 2 more tacks? You know.
So Smeg's tacked back. He's gone out to the right hand side of the course, and he's converging on the Yandu at the moment. He's just off screen at the moment. He'll be coming in from the right hand side.
Just the gap of what's Bay in the background here.
Yeah.
The whole harbour now in frame. Nielsen Park. You can see Smeg there, just sitting near the yellow blinker buoy on the right edge.
Smeg might have picked up a little bucket.
Yeah, he's extended.
Top of screen there.
Yeah. I think we got a cross here.
Yep. No, he hasn't extended. He hasn't caught.
Still ever so close.
Yep.
Ever so close.
It did look close, didn't it? But you would say now advantage to Smeg. He's going now to the better side of the track. And Yandu in bumpier water out on the right hand side now.
Yeah. Lazarus chasing.
Yep.
And Doo's caught up a little. If we can take a look behind, he's not too far.
Oh, big enough waves here to sink the camera cat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Choppy.
And more to come.
So we're far from done in this race, Bucko. Eh? We've got 2 contenders highly going for it. And they can't afford a mistake either. Oh, John winning, Yandu, capsized in the tide. Well, they sort of came out of the tack, and we've just got to pan around and pick up the Yandu.
Looked like the helmsman might have fallen over, mate.
Yeah, they seem to be through the tack and then just get a gust and laid right over. So, yeah, just see it's
looked like loss of control.
Oh. As quickly as they're getting it up, that's going to be push them back into 3rd spot, I'd say. Lazarus now in 2nd.
There you go. The attrition continues. Smeg leads.
Smeg. The Smegglers. as Kilo would say.
Absolutely.
On board with race leader Smeg. In the background, in the distance, Yandu still trying to recover from that quick capsize. Lazarus, second position. And chasing the Smeg as well, Lazarus.
Yeah, no, going well.
I wouldn't like to call this just yet.
No. A lot of powerboat wash now.
And it looked like a quick capsize for the Yandu, but they're still not upright, so...
I think you'll find that puts Andu into third there, Cubby.
I think you're right, Jimmy. Well done. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we're in that Yandu in that no man's land, half up, half down, with the jib just on enough for maybe the bang as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get her up.
Smeg struggling with his cruiser here. Oh, that's close as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's as close as you want to be without touching.
So here's the position now, Cub, I'll say.
Yep.
Lazarus will lay the mark from the next tack.
Smeg 2 tacks.
2 tacks.
2.
Yep.
Okay.
Smeg going through the lee of the white light, which isn't usually the right answer.
The wedding cake.
Yeah. If
So advantage Smeg, maybe.
subject to.
Subject to.
Lazarus getting the ley line right from the left corner.
Well, Lazarus has tacked and they're heading back to the top mark now, so they look like in a good enough spot to be on lay, so...
Yeah. Halfway
Yeah.
between the white light and the point.
Yeah, so... We've got Smeg leading, but with 2 tacks to do before he reaches the top mark. We're assuming Lazarus is coming in from the left-hand side, and they're on a lay. So, well, I said advantage Smeg, but I think advantage Lazarus. I still can't see the upright Yandu, Bucko, either, so...
No, they look like they were having some bother there.
Yeah, I suspect there's something a little bit more at play there. Bad luck
Smeg
for
on
Woody
tack.
and his crew.
There we go on the Smegler.
Okay, Smeg's probably still going to hold out, Bucko, I think.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect, but it's just a question of did Lazarus...
Smeg's probably only a few seconds off another tack to get him on the lay for the top mark. There goes the jib.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, a little bit of...
A bit dusty on the Smeg in the tack, a bit sketchy.
But they're through.
They're through.
And they've actually got a bit of distance on the Lazarus after that.
Yeah, well, there's always some element of risk in picking the ley line from 800 yards or 600 yards or whatever it is. But it's not a big, it's not a big lead, but it's enough.
Race leader Smeg. Around the last, well, second last mark for the Beachel boy for the last time.
Yeah, and pretty conservative on the hoist. So
He's probably got a 30-second lead on the Lazarus, if not a little bit more.
well, Lazarus now crack sheets coming in pretty fast. So
Okay, you got the clock on that, Bucko?
yeah, I've got the clock on.
The Smeg set and running down to Shark Island.
Just looking down the harbour there, just on that shot there, there's a barge under tow, just off Steel Point.
A little bit of a nosedive from the Lazarus. Yeah,
35 seconds, Cub. So
that may come into play.
Yeah, hopefully we've got eyes out of the boat on the Smeg and they've seen that.
and a big barge, and Smeg doing the conservative thing, going to go to Nielsen Park.
Yeah,
Gonna
big barge.
jibe a bottle on glass down the inside of the barge.
Big tug and tow.
Yep. Lazarus not having a good hoist either.
No, Lazarus is tardy. Something's just going up
A
now.
bit of prawnage.
Looks a bit wet.
Yep.
A couple of kilos.
Yep. Couple of kilos.
And we've got Andu. Andu coming in from the right-hand side of screen in third position. So with all that's gone on with the Andu today, they're pretty happy with it to pull a third place out of this.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, Andu, a little bit of a. They haven't got
it quite under
the
control
finesse.
there.
Yeah. Oh, Andu.
Too much bang on still, I think. What do you think, Cubby? A lot of bang on for a bear away, 18 knots.
Yeah. And then big Sammy Newton there swinging it down. Okay, so I've found the Andu. They're back up and running.
Yep. No, everybody just happy to do the least risk thing here.
I think Andu's the one that's got to watch the tug and barge here, Bucko. Yeah,
Yep, they've got to go the other side. I think that's correct.
Yeah, they've got that on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elected a bit better management there.
It's a big barge, isn't it?
It is. They don't normally put them on a tow so early in the harbour. They normally get a bit closer to the heads before they do that. So. Anyway, it's not something you want to go between the barge and the tug.
Not recommended, Cubby?
No. So Andu was around in third. Just for the viewers behind us, we've got Shaw and Partners in fourth, and most likely Andu in fifth now after that capsize.
In front of us.
Here we go, it's on.
So a bit of action here. Lazarus versus Ferry.
Well,
What's going on?
The Catherine Hamlin.
And cruising keelboat also near the racing line.
His next thing to be dealing with is a yacht right beside him, just above Lazarus. He's just jived out away from it.
Jived out.
A little jibe out. Smeg looks like they've got the job done.
The heart rate's up.
Down in the background.
Yeah. So we saw Jack McCartney come unstuck with a Manly ferry a couple of years ago now.
Yep.
And got a little bit too close, so hopefully, what I'd like to think that was just a regulation tit for tat, and the skiffs have to stay away from the bows of the ferry, so hopefully Lazarus is okay.
What we got here, Jimmy?
Right, Smeg ragging the shoe. So Smeg just looked like they'll get through here, Bucko, this time, I think. I'm just looking to the left.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be any massive gusts coming.
That's what always seems to be the case until.
How many times have you said that and ended up on the rocks here? Oh, look, they're home now. They're round the mark.
Well, they're not home, Chum.
Commentators.
Still past the peril of Point Piper. Yet to go.
All right, okay. Take that back.
Yeah.
Another yacht. To
There's some distance.
The motor.
There's some distance to second, let me assure you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Lazarus in second spot seems to be doing it a little bit easier than the Smeg, coming down alongside the Shark Island, and doing third, distant third. On board a race leader, Smeg.
Just got this. Have a go at this yacht with them, just in front of them.
Yeah, nice. I think they're all right, Jimmy.
Oh, he had to flag it.
I think he's struggling with those new spinning sheets, wrap around the wrist a few times. Right, short distance now to the finish.
Yeah, but the point that pipe refraction to navigate, Cubby, and the wind lifting off. So hands up who hasn't been in the tide there.
Lazarus just jibing onto starboard there, chasing for a second.
Yeah. Probably extended another 30 seconds, the Smigglers, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Lance has got a bit overcomplicated at the corner.
Yeah.
So Smeg in the lull, now VMG running effectively to get to the finish.
That Yachting Association mark is always in the wrong spot when they're coming through there.
Yeah.
It's always set a little duck there to get to the lure to that marker.
And now he's back on full noise.
Yeah.
Just enough north pressure with header coming to him though, so you expect to see him going pretty quickly to the finish here.
What do we got there, Bucko? About 200 metres to the finish?
Well, I'd give it 300.
300.
Nice long line, so they've given him plenty of opportunity.
Yeah. A nice gust on them now. 3 all stretched. Oh, a little bit.
Yeah, I did say I thought they might get a bit more there.
A little bit supercharged.
That's what they've got now.
Yeah.
Hang on to it, boys. And a little header.
Cocko trying to brace himself on the main sheet hand there. That must be a little bit rough.
They'll get to the line, full of noise. There we go, folks.
We can fall over from there, Bucko.
Yeah, just about. The smugglers get the chocolates.
There we go. Big race win.
Big race win.
Just got the time, 20 seconds.
Michael Coxon, Ricky Bridge and Mike McKenzie, the oldest firm in town. They won't like me saying that, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah. Sailed beautifully today. They were just in the hunt the whole race.
They were in the hunt the whole way. Weren't the fastest, but they were certainly the most consistent.
You spoke earlier, Bucko, about the war of attrition in a race like today with a freshish nor'easter. Not the freshest one we've seen, but fresh.
Fresh enough.
Yeah, fresh enough, and he's just hung in there and he's picked away at it. He's got the Lazarus coming down full bore now to the finish to get second.
Yeah.
They got the eye on the silver medal.
Yep.
Nice bit of air there, and they're through.
Yeah, so about 50 seconds in arrears only, so that's a fairly close 80-footer race for the wind strength and water roughness. And probably only about another 50 seconds to the NSW, who would be ruining their ley line issue into the jibe mark the first time.
Yeah.
And there is no third, your fourth, your Majesty.
2 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good effort from the NSW boys.
Well, if you were sailing up, and we are, a series, to get a third in any series, it's going to be a keeper for sure.
It's a keeper.
Yeah, it's a keeper. It wasn't pretty.
No. There was only one error, so, you're allowed one, aren't you?
Well, they had that bad start. And
Bad start.
Sorry, 2 errors.
Two errors.
Indeed. Coley, yes, indeed, not quite, about 45 seconds behind, so...
Yeah.
So that is a good effort considering. I forgot about the start line issue.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
But that was a bit of aggression from the other boat, more or less.
And I think too, with a fill-in crew member, it's probably even, we should mark them up a little bit further than that.
Well, calling Matty Stenner a fill-in crew member is not probably correct, I don't think.
banana fingers.
He's the current champion.
Well, he's all of that, but he hasn't, he's had a busy week.
He's just reaching peak fitness, mate.
Oh, okay. I remember when. All right, let's see if we can find fourth, Bucko. Shore and Partners?
Shore and Partners.
Balmain Slate.
And Balmain Slate coming at us.
Coming hard.
Fairway away.
We're getting max pressure here coming across Point Piper, heading towards the finish.
Yeah, I mean, for the viewers, you would have seen the effect of the lull, which is sort of the windward side wind shadow of Point Piper, and then a little bit of funnel in the entrance of Double Bay there.
Here we go, Balmain Slake under the pump now.
Balmain Slate under the pump big time. Give you a bit of dronage. Jono Whitty on the drone flying today. Well done. And mighty stuff here.
Alright, so there's...
And so
Balmain Slake was just airborne there. Yeah.
So he's in the lull now, and Sean Partner's about to get to the strongest bit of wind now. On the low line, rolling the chute. 200 yards to go. We've sunk a few people that short distance out, Cub.
Well, look, the Balmain Slake's probably not laying the finish line at the moment. So
they're a little deep, aren't they?
Yeah, deep, very deep.
Plenty coming for the Sean Partners as well. Ragging it. Here we go, boys and girls.
So we've Balmain Slake's looking like maybe having to drop the chute.
Well, the Sean Partners doing a bit of rag.
Yep.
Just to get the bow up enough to cross the line.
Shaw and Partners are home, they're done. Balmain Slake, we're not quite sure.
He'll be right.
Probably be Rags at all the way to the finishes. Yeah, he's got a lay there by the looks of it.
Yep. He's
Back
right
on
again now. Back
Dragged her on. Okay.
Fantastic.
So that's 4 and 5. So Balmain Slake in 5th. The Burrawang Young Henrys looks like 6. So that's Brett Van Munster back on the wheel, back in the.
And if form should have it, the Royal Oak should be somewhere near the Burrawang Hotel.
Well,
The two hotels sort of hang out together.
Oh, the Burrawang Hotel's having a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, and guess who's behind the Burrawang, Jimmy? The green spinny car.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
The Royal Oak. You could do the pub crawl one, go from one to the other.
If we had to go from one to the other and stop at every pub in between, Cubby, I don't think we'd make it. It'd have to be an overnighter.
Okay, so Burrawang's through in 6, we said, I think.
5th, Cup.
5th, sorry. Okay, and Royal Oak in 6th.
And then I think
You had the advantage of writing it down there, mate. I was going off memory.
That's why I get the big bucks, mate. Write it down. I think Andu might be next. Yes, indeed. After the Royal Oak.
And then the Birkenhead.
And even the Birkenhead.
Well, they've hung in there, Cup. Sort of.
There'll be a tail of woe.
There will be. You're about to give us more details next week.
Yeah.
Or next time you come.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully Shippo's back, is he?
Mate, I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty sure he is back next week for us. He's
That long service leave racked up.
well, he got pumped for the start of Hobart, then the finish of Hobart. He was up and down like a yo-yo down there for the all the crosses and bits and pieces he had to do.
Yeah. It was good to see Gordon Bray involved with that as well.
Yeah, Gordon was down there with Peter G. Was the
Peter
other
G. Who's the
commentator?
I was watching the coverage like sort of 9 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. It was great. Not quite as good as the Full Sail Media production, though. I don't think.
Thanks, Cubby. I'll put an extra little bit in your bank account.
Oh, Sail Media well known for being the well-funded rival of the ABC. No worries.
Well funded.
Just on board with Yandu coming to the finish, so they'll be disappointed. Race leader basically and capsizing.
And he's under some pressure to get to the finish line here too. Come I'd say. The old fella on the end of the wing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's not. He's
No,
sitting in.
He's sitting in nice and comfy.
A bit tired after that swim.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yandu coming to the line for, we said 7.
I think the last boat
This
that I
guy's
can see is the Birkenhead Point Marina, Cubby.
right. Yeah, the boys. Okay. Well,
They're not too far off getting down here, so we might wander up and see them home, and then
Yandu's finished at 7.
So, for the viewers, we're suspicious that the last remaining boat upright and racing is the Birkenhead in
8th.
8th place, Cubby. So it's not too bad.
Well, that's
Single digits.
I think in their overall point score, that's sort of about the position they sit. So
they're having a sniff at Point Piper here, mate. They've got plenty on there, boy.
.com.
.com. Did you talk to them about rolling the chute and easing the vang and a few more things?
Well, they've got the levers to ease now. I just shot it all.
Yeah, shot the lot. Here we go.
Oh,
they're going to drop.
Discretion. Yeah, well, it looks like it.
Cruising home. That's all they got to do. That's not a bad thing. Good drop too. So safety first on the Birkenhead. Just get a home in one piece, they said.
Yeah, I think there's a few tired lads there. But anyway, got the cobwebs blown out.
All right, folks. So thanks for joining us today for Sydney Harbour back to its best form. A minor war of attrition cub is how we describe it.
Yeah, great racing. It's a typical 18-foot skiff race. So
some pretty nice work from Smeg, Lazarus, Andu, Balmain, Burrawang, Royal Oak, Andu and Birkenhead in that order. On the mighty camera cat, thanks Jimmy, Sam, Chits, Alex, Jono Whitty, guest pilot for the drone today. Thank you very much, Jono. Marvellous stuff. Cubby, thank you.
Thanks, Buggo. That's always good. Although I feel like there's a bit of pressure on me from a few of the other commentators during the week.
Oh, well, that's only what you feel. Hello to all our loyal followers offshore. Feel free to follow us and make comment, ask a question. This has been a Sail Media production for the Australian 18 Footers League. Over and out.